Hey, people injured here, 3v3 Faction War. This is Campbell, Purification Plant, and Space Marines versus Tyranids. For the blue Space Marine team, we have two Force Commanders. First up is Noisy with some Blood Angels elite scheme. We also have Bruce Campbell rocking the Black Templars recolored red and white. These guys fight in melee combat for the Emperor, leading a line with support and disruption. Alongside here, the Tenso with a Techmarine starts off in ranged combat, putting out some good damage, can also support with structures and repair. Got that big old servo arm on his back that you can smack with. Oh, here's a Lictor Alpha being harassed by YZ. A melee specialist going to infiltrate and disrupt some powerful offense and a bit of support backing off to do a flesh hook. There it is. Techmarine could be in trouble here. Tactical Marines are slow to join, getting shot up by termagants as well, down to half health already. We also have RedRe Venge with a Ravener Alpha. A tunneling hero with great mobility, powerful offense, and a bit of support begins with a ranged weapon. Rounding off the teams, AssMan is a Hive Tyrant. A very durable hero, walks through objects and cannot be suppressed with powerful disruption and support. Begins in melee with a basic synapse, I shall call you Alonso. West side then against those Blood Angel Marines. Tech Marines have been pushed off the mid. It might mean that the Lictor Alpha can come and help out on the west side. Here comes that Force Commander. Really want to control the movement of that guy. I mean, that's the case for all of the melee heroes, obviously. But this guy, if he can't get into melee, he can't do that battle cry special, and he can't stack that battle cry buff. Going after Alonso, the Hive Tyrant now, who's tying up some tactical marines. Great way to use Hive Tyrants in opening engagements is to tie up marines. They can do it for ages if they're left alone. Well played from YZ, I think, backing off to the VP again with 4 termagants, including AssMans, the Hormagaunts, and the Lictor Alpha still in play. Not sure if Noisy can push against this. Got double scouts up with shotguns on one. We also have shotguns for the Tenso now joining the fight on the west side. They should be able to push now, although those marines are in trouble. So nice flesh hook. Hormagaunts jumping in there and they kill that fella, although they lost 3 Hormagaunts doing it. 472 to 483 very early on. What is this? That's RedRe Venge milling around in the mid, being pushed slightly, I think, by Bruce Campbell over there. We'll check it out in a second. I'm going to see this push through. The Tenso, we got some scouts with a sergeant. Can they get onto the POW? Maybe. Meanwhile, in the mid, Force Commander runs away. Might go down in retreat from the Hormagaunts. It's going to be close. Warrior Brooder there. Oh, they can't get to him. Took a bit too long to get moving. Shotgun blast on the Warrior Brood. These guys start off in power melee with a little leap to them, and they are a synapse creature, so if you focus these guys down, they start to explode with those synapse bombs, which makes the rest of the army much easier to deal with when they're all knocked over, getting damaged. Devastator's trying to set up. It's going to be risky though. Need to retreat, I think. Might be able to get something done on the power here. Devastator stay in play and use those base turrets to turn back around. Cheeky grenade attempt then from the Tenso. Tried to predict the retreat of the Hormagaunts. Almost worked out perfectly. Having to back off then is RedRe Venge. Well played the Tenso to recognize this and get moving and get over here. They could have lost the generator. Maybe they already did actually. There's only 2 here. There's another one going up. Maybe not though. Might have only been 2. Since they did get Devastators over there, Bruce Campbell. Termagants. No toxin sacks. Oh, here we go. AssMan getting some up. Got the Raveners first. These guys have those ranged Devourer weapons out the gate these days. Can also Burrow Strike to disrupt you, which is pretty damn useful. Alonso tanking well. Force Commander's going after him rather than tie up this stuff. I guess it's difficult to close that distance with the Force Commander. Just wanting to get those battle cry buffs going, and Alonso is dealt with. Ran into the Devastators there. So he's going to need a way to deal with that. I guess the Raveners could do it, but if they Burrow Strike in, they could be met with a very angry Force Commander and shotgun blast and all sorts of stuff. So I think maybe get the charge for the Hive Tyrant, charge him into the Devastators, and then use the Burrow Strike and disrupt the back line after that. More Devastators here for the Tenso and Assault Marines for Noisy. Big old tier 1 there. They all got Raveners on the red team. Warrior Brood for the non-Synapse heroes, the Lictor Alpha and the Ravener Alpha. Looks like they defended the power okay, I think. Marines got down to 1 model for Bruce Campbell, but they haven't lost too much, the Space Marines, so far. No attempt to get onto this Tyranid power. Even though it was 2v1, wasn't it? It's 2v1. Maybe they should have done so. Try to lock it down with those Devastators a bit. Because it's 2v1 on the east side. And they're using tunnels to get into the front lines earlier. Or quicker, I should say. Taking some shots now at the node. Raven Alpha. No war gear yet. We might see him wait to tier 2 to get the Corrosive Devourer and stuff up. Awesome weapon. Double scouts having a look. No grenades here. I thought maybe they were venturing forth to try and chuck a grenade at something. Mastercrafted bolter for the Techmarine of the Tenso. Still kicking off on the east side. There's the Burrow Strike from the Raveners. Now tying up the Devastator so they can't use that heavy bolter again. But the Force Commander's there. Puts his shield up. The Iron Halo. You know what? You don't see the Iron Halo that often these days. In 3v3s in a way. You'll often see the Sacred Standard, or they'll wait for that teleporter in tier 2 as well. Get that going with the Thunderhammer. But Iron Halo can make the Force Commander really annoying to deal with. Better support from the Sacred Standard, of course, and the teleporter. I mean, getting more mobility options is always amazing. So a really good war gear, the Force Commander. That was the high-powered shots on the Warrior Brood there. Duck inside of the tunnel. Those guys bashed the node, did they? Oh, they capped it. What is this? Power bash from the Space Marines. Force Commander's there with a power sword for Noisy. This gives him a power weapon, which is extra damage versus heroes and the Warrior Brood. Well, compared to a regular melee weapon, it doesn't do extra damage to heroes. It will just do more damage compared to regular melee, I believe. It does do extra damage to Warrior Brood though, but AssMan, yeah, AssMan doesn't have any. But also, the main reason Noisy probably got it is the... Can I select you please? There we go. The increase to the battle cry buff. When you're in a 3v3 and you're buffing multiple armies potentially, this could be insane. Especially if you pair that with a Sacred Standard. Tyranids are broken out. Here are the Assault Marines of Noisy, those Death Company coloured Assault Marines. Let's hope they don't go mental. 444 to 329. East side, back and forth. Tenso now pushing up from the mid. Came out here. Gonna be a Burrow Strike soon. No, maybe not. There's two Devastators. Bruce Campbell's here too. And is flaming down some gens. Gonna get a full bash. Bruce Campbell saying they're good now. Maybe Tenso will go back to the mid. They're trying to put some pressure on the VP, but they got caught. They got caught moving. Burrow Strike from the Raveners, assassinating the Techmarine there. Devastators are already in retreat, so they weren't knocked over. Scout trying to sneak away. The Warrior Brood would be able to see them if they get close enough, but they're not. 440 to 318. It's a good grenade. Beautiful grenades going in there. Killed at least one Ravener, yeah, and a bunch of Termagants, I think. Double Raveners for Red Revenge, so suggests we're going to see that Corrosive Devourer, maybe the Synapse Aura for damage and ranged Synapse in tier 2, if they can get to tier 2. But a lot of upkeep now. 52 pop. Force Commander goes down, that's Bruce Campbell. We have a Razorback on the way for the Tenso. Bruce Campbell gets a Librarian going. AssMan with a Tyrant Guard now. Might have been spawned from the global maybe to get it quickly. No other war gear for Noisy. What about the Techmarine? Still got the Mastercrafted Bolter. Bruce Campbell. Not sure if they had anything other than the Iron Halo. Don't see a weapon on there. Smite thrown out from the Librarian. Good way to open a fight or dissuade things from getting close. Gonna take down the tunnel. Levels up the Tactical Marines. Gives you 15 red and some... yeah, and the XP to level them. Dreadnought on the way now for Noisy. Should be able to tear through the Tyrant Guard, although it'll give it a decent fight with 2,500 hit points. It just has a worse armor type against the heavy melee. The Dreadnought's heavy melee is going to be doing full damage to the Tyrant Guard, and it's super heavy infantry armor, whereas the Tyrant Guard is going to be half damage to the vehicle armor of the Dreadnought. And that's where the victory comes from. Crushing Claws though for the Hive Tyrant. There's a melter on the Tyrant guard. They could get some plasma up and stuff to help tear through the Tyrant gun. In fact, they are. Plasma gun for the tactical marines. Super effective against Tyrant guard. Not only is it super heavy infantry, but it's really big, so you have good accuracy against it. I think it counts as a medium-sized unit rather than large, I think. Can it get away? It might have to charge. Waiting for an open area to charge in, perhaps. 396 to 301. There's the charge. Think it's going to be alright. Looks like it's got away from the Dreadnought's gaze. Starts off as this melee unit. Massive threat to all this infantry if they can get close. Oh, those guys didn't throw their... Oh, they got the electric shock grubs on the Razorback. And there's a Venom Brood. This thing's going down. Did not last too long. This is YZ's Venom Brood here. Look at those Tyranid rosters completely full. Did they get the... Oh, they don't have ranged synapse yet. You can benefit from ranged synapse from your allies, much like the other synapses. What is that? Oh, that's you going into shield wall. I don't know why that effect is so loud. Assault Marines do have their sergeant. They do have that melter bomb as well that we saw. 386 to 287. Shotgun blast sets things up nicely alongside that suppression. That was pretty good. Can they get onto the VP, get a cheeky decap? They have taken the power here and noded it. And look at Bruce Campbell now with the Thunderhammer. Massive disruption from this weapon. But he himself got knocked over there. The shield wore out and the Warrior Brood knocked him down. Dealt with him well. Oh, we do see the Corrosive Devourer as well for the Revenant Alpha. Scary, scary plasma weapon. 43 DPS. Pretty nuts. How does he like... Doesn't give me a melee DPS here. Wonder how he's in melee with that thing. West side, Alonso has got his shield going with the warp field. And also improved synapse with the crushing claws. 108 heavy melee DPS. The most powerful raw DPS weapon that a hero can get. That's more DPS than a Dreadnought. Although the Dreadnought has splash damage. More single target DPS than a Dreadnought. A really good smite on those warriors. Got rid of them pretty fast. But the Tyranids are still here in force. Is that the pheromones? No, it's not. Got some toxin miasma going on. 386 to 223 on the VPs. Bruce Campbell looking to push up the east side again. Might be trying to get onto the VP here. The power's already bashed. Just got taken back. West side. Alonso, the Hive Tyrant, gets into the Devastators there. Makes short work of them. Tyrant Guard is fighting a Force Commander who has gone for the Sacred Standard Noisy. Also Artificer Armor to make him tougher. Tyrant Guard is going down. Plasma Gun Tactical Marine is doing a lot of damage there. Alonso's not happy. Still level 1, this fella. Noisy's Force Commander is level 2. Some repairs now for the Dreadnought. Yeah, you might need some Venom Brood. Oh, he's got some. They sure have some. Was probably getting shots in and everything. I just didn't see. 378 to 212. Tyranids pushing through the east side 2v1. Looks like Bruce Campbell had a rough time. Down to 3 units. The Force Commander also fell. Going to get a full power bash, I think. It's a quite quick bash over there. More smiting. Needs to be careful because they can pump out insane amounts of burst damage now from range, these Tyranids, with the ranged synapse around. Grenade is dodged, although the Venom Brood are off the field, and Red Revenge doesn't have their own Venom Brood. Terminators for Bruce Campbell. Gone for the ranged variety with these Storm Bolters and Power Fists. 371 to 200. A 2-to-1 cap. Maybe we'll see the Flamer. These are big blobs of Tyranids. Cyclone is very useful for big old Carnifexes and stuff, though. AssMan with double zone probes now. Got to be careful of those Assault Marines jumping on them. Can counter-initiate pretty well with the Hive Tyrant himself. Is more Terminators this time from the Tenso. Noisy is still in tier 2, as is RedRe and AssMan. In fact, YZ just went tier 3. Quite heavy tier 2s for the Tyranid players. Often you'll see them just cruise through tier 2 with a single purchase or something. Very quick power bash here. West side, meanwhile. Lictor Alpha's here to help out. And so is his Ravener Brood. Gets in on the devs. Tears them apart with the Toxin Miasma melee weapon. Dreadnought needs to be careful, maybe. Yeah, Venom are there, and double zone throats with that focused warp blast potentially to mess up the vehicle. Scouts being sneaky and weird. The Tensos use these guys well. Level 2 and level 2. And a nice assist from the Tenso. Lictor Alpha got caught by the assault cannon, did not like it, ran the hell away. Can they hold this west side now? The Tenso going all in. Got some Stern Guard with the Hellfire rounds, going all in against 2 players here. Grenades don't do super well. Maybe I was expecting Noisy to push up a little bit sooner. There was a high-powered shot onto the Warrior Brood. Ravener Brood forcing off Stern Guard, and a pincer set up here against the Tenso. Here comes RedRe. Ouch. Techmarine goes down. Dreadnought has the electroshock grubs on it. Can they finish it off? Venom Brood turn to shoot. Big old Emperor's Fist. I think it's going to go down though. Force Commando might also go down. Yep. Sacred Standard will now be given a 40% damage buff. Is it 40 or 30? It's a big damage buff. I think it's 40. Assaultman is jumping in. Do have their Sergeant. I haven't seen them do a Merciless Strike yet, but I'm sure they've done many amazing Merciless Strikes by now. 349 to 168. That was a rough fight for the Space Marines. The Tenso really got caught there between 2 big armies. Dreadnought also went down. Bruce Campbell now following it up with a Predator tank. Still got a Librarian too. Raven Alpha's going to go down. Oh, maybe not. Didn't have another burst in them from that range. Synapse Aura is up though. Awesome accessory. Neurothrope on the way for YZ. Great for dealing with blobs of heavy and super heavy infantry. And groups of infantry in general. But he has some extra damage against heavily armoured fellas. See that inspiration on kill for the Terminators there. Gives you a damage boost. Also gives you some suppression resistance, I think. Venom Brood don't want to get themselves picked off. Here comes Alonso. He's going to hit level 2 soon, surely. Those Crushing Claws weighing in on the Scouts, who did get a decap. Here comes Noisy now. Some Tactical Marines, the Force Commanders there. Takes down the Brood Nest. Should have been a bit further back, I think. 315 to 168. And they're getting through. Going to get the cap here. The double zone throats. Yeah, try and target those Tactical Marines. That's your best target for those guys. Or maybe a blob like this. Look at that. Trying to keep them in play. Boom. Yeah, double zone throats can pack a punch. An instantaneous shot they have as well. I mean, they have a wind-up. But once it goes, you can't really dodge it. 315 to 160. Predator tank is here for Bruce Campbell. Also one for the Tenso. Techmarine is level 4. RedRe seems to be stuck in tier 2. AssMan could go tier 3. Hasn't done so yet. It would leave them with very little power. They have very little power income because this isn't built up. AssMan should be putting gens over there. There's tons of wreck. 315 to 143. Not always easy to spot that stuff when you're in game trying to manage your army. I think the Space Marines are looking pretty good here. They have the tanks out. They have Terminators out. They have some powerful heroes if this guy can get back up. And the Tyranids have been out-teched. But here comes AssMan to tier 3. There's RedRe tier 3. Do they have the population to get a bunch of Carnifexes? They can get like 1 each. Maybe 2 from AssMan. Bruce Campbell asking if there's any Carnifexes spotted on the battlefield. Yeah, even they're surprised they haven't seen the Carnifexes yet. Very heavy tier 2s from the Tyranids. Slows down your economy. They have done well with it here and there. Electroshock grubs on that tank. That was a rear armor hit too. Tunnel formation. Techmarine went down. There is that Neurothroat. And there is a Paroxysm doing damage over time. Percentage based damage over time. Can be super powerful against high hit point units. Are they going to go down in retreat though? It's a lot of damage from that assault cannon. Can they get another burst? No, they can't. Plasma cannon and librarian on the way for the blue team now. Bruce Campbell replacing the librarian that they lost at some point. Alonso, the Hive Tyrant, runs away. And blue team, the Space Marines will take the Western VP here. You got a Genestealer Brood for RedRe Venge. Do they have melee synapse then? They do have melee synapse on this Warrior Brood here. 299 to 96. Single cap for the Tyranids with a lot of VPs to make up though. It's going to be a 2-to-1 for the Space Marines though. That's been taken. The Submarines jumping in. Then being persuaded to leave. The tanks have done really well. They've struggled to get on them. Venom Brood here trying to chase. Blessing of the Omnissiah going. That's a global ability of the Techmarine. Repairs all allied vehicles on the map over time. So pretty good. I think it repairs like 200 health by the end of it. Which is pretty good. Another Tyrant formation. So this not only does damage and knockback, it provides a synapse for nearby Tyranids. Gives them a big boost temporarily too. So really a nuke that you want to use alongside an army push kind of thing. Venom Brood on the way for RedRe Venge. Carnifex for AssMan, the first one we've seen. I hear an orbital, there it is. Looks like it's not going to hit too much. The Zoanthrope has the shield up. It should protect it. Oh, barely protected it. Holy crap, that was close. 293 to 75. Down goes Alonso, the Hive Tyrant. Genestealers can't get close, which means the Warrior Brood aren't going to be able to either. Tanks keeping their autocannons, you'd notice, because it's mostly infantry that they're fighting. Carnifex is on the way, so is a Land Raider Redeemer though. 293 to 75, a 1-to-1 cap. I feel that they could have capped this. Those are the Terminators of the Tenso. Oh, Bruce Campbell are going to go for it. Tyranids go for a push on the mid. They're really struggling to approach these Space Marine lines though. Missing those Carnifexes right now. Burrow striking in. Trying to pick off what they can. The tanks are doing a lot of work. Here comes a Carnifex. And it's gone for, they've gone for Thornback. A Carnifex on the way for YZ2. Thornback is the melee upgrade for the Carnifex. Gives it a bunch more health and a charge. Also can spawn Rippers. There's the Land Raider Redeemer though. They can now all retreat back to that Land Raider. Tenso down to 3 units. They're still looking pretty strong, the Space Marines. Level 5 Force Commander here. Level 5 Techmarine. Noisy, I can't see. Must be inside the Land Raider. Here's the Carnifex of YZ. Doesn't have an upgrade yet, which means it's a big old melee beastie. Gone for the Venom Cannon to try and shoot those tanks down. The Genestealers of RedRe Venge. Do they have any XP? They have a little bit. Very, very dangerous power melee squad. If they can get close to the Terminators and the Marines, they will do some serious work. But can they get close? Oh, here's the Force Commander. Force Commander says no. He's not having it. Oh, he's put 40 Emperor on himself, I think. For some more, for 25% more damage or whatever it is. One of his global abilities, that's nasty. It's a good combo for the Emperor and those big AoE attacks. Oh, down goes one of the tanks. Venom Brood Carnifex doing some work immediately. They eventually did persuade the Force Commander to leave, but he did a lot of work there. A lot of work. Meanwhile, west side, they're pushing against the Land Raider. Thornback Carnifex must have charged in. Not sure why the Force Commander is attacking him with his power weapon. Not sure why the Assault Marines are attacking it either. You'd think they'd be in the back lines there. Just trying to put any kind of pressure they can on it, I suppose. The Multi-Melter of the Land Raider is doing some good damage here. Carnifex might need to charge away. It's killing stuff. They're reinforcing off it, but it is putting economic pressure on Noisy. There's a ton of formation. But there's a Melter Bomb. I feel like this Carnifex is going to fall, you know. We've got a las cannon now if he can set up. And the Multi-Melter's still getting shots. I think the Carnifex is done for. 279 to 25. Looks like AssMan thinks it's over. Oh, gets a sync kill on the Force Commander. Awesome. But it's going to go down after that. You get massive damage resistance while you perform a sync kill, which is why I didn't die there. But down it goes. 279 to 16. 2-to-1 cap for the Space Marines. I think they've done enough. I think they've done enough. If AssMan didn't follow that all the way through, they might have been able to back up, get the cap, maybe hold out a little bit longer. There's the 1-to-1. Electroshock rubs onto the tank there. Librarian having a rough time of it in amongst a bunch of Gene Stealers. Bioplasma doing some work there. Cyclone missile launcher from the Tenso's Terminators there. Nothing can cap the west side though, I guess. Why not? I don't know why. There's no plasma cannon here. The state of the terrain now. Level 3 tank. It's been amazing for the Tenso. Neurothrope on the way for Red Revenge. AssMan, are you going to buy some up? Maybe waiting for another Carnifex. Feel like if they turned around earlier, I mean, if they didn't have the charge available, they probably wouldn't have been able to just stomp away. Depends if Noisy gave chase. Maybe, because the las cannon can't really chase very well. Might have been able to, and if they chased with the Land Raider, that would have been risky for Noisy. Hard to say if they would have got away. 279 to 10. Land Raider gets rid of a bunch of little Tyranid fellas. Terminators teleporting out. Double Terminators for both the Tenso and Bruce Campbell. So a lot of Terminators. Paroxysm in the wrong place kind of thing. Space Marines are going to take the west side and most likely take the game here. Carnifex is going to fall. Predator tank continues to kick ass. Trying to formation again. Seen a hell of a lot of these. Well, 4. I mean, it's quite a lot for nukes. There was a beacon up in the mid from the Tenso. There was the game. The Tyranids have conceded at the end. Level 3 Force Commander for Noisy. With his support build. Level 6 Techmarine. Barely alive at the end. He made it. And a level 7 Force Commander for Bruce Campbell. Ravenet Alpha was level 3. Can't select him. Level 4 Lictor Alpha. Down at the end. And a level 3 Hive Tyrant Alonso had fallen at the end too. Very heavy tier 2s I don't think help them in the long run. You've got to get those Carnifexes rolling. Unless you can put huge amounts of pressure on in tier 2 on the power and stuff. Which they couldn't quite do. They had some successes. I feel like if one of the players tried to get tier 3 soon, maybe YZ and the players on the flanks got those heavy tier 2s out to delay, maybe that would have been a bit better. But there you have it. Thank you for watching, guys. Big thanks to these players for taking part in the faction war, and of course Impregnable for organising such faction war events. I'll see you next time.